Hello, Sustainable Communities Initiative. This is Tori Davella providing your mid-monthly update. Um, just as a reminder, we've had a change in process. I used to do weekly updates, and now Erica will be doing a beginning of the month update, and I will be doing a middle of the month update to keep you in the know. And we are very open to feedback if you have any on this process. So, yeah, keep us accountable. Let us know what you think. I'll start with cultural connections through technology. This project is getting some great traction lately. We're going to be moving forward with a societal benefits study, which will help to evaluate the actual benefits of broadband and the value of broadband in internet in communities beyond just nominal costs, like who is it valuable for, how is it valuable to them, is it valuable to organizations, is it just valuable to individuals, etc., etc. So to carry this out, we'll be having two of our consultants named James and Alan going to visit Janvier and Fort Chipewyan to gather more information on how high-speed internet would be used by different people. To prepare these two consultants for their trips, which I believe are happening next week. Tyra, Sam, Nick, and Lynn delivered a short orientation for them on sort of like our field guidelines or vital behaviors. So it sounds like it was a really great session to introduce them to those concepts, and I hope to see more of that sort of thing in the future. Recently, Cultural Connections Through Technology has also been connecting with RMWB, so we'll see where that goes. Experiential learning is up next. ELI had their last meeting on March 8th to plan for the upcoming months. They did a lot of planning that day, including we discussed more days of doing, which were sort of like a spin-off of the PD days with more community involvement and, just ramped up new elements. We also discussed elder advisory councils in each of the communities, and we also discussed some communication processes, and that barely scratches the surface. There's lots of other stuff happening. Anyways, one of the things we discussed was communications processes, and ELI has a call every Friday at 9 a.m., but sometimes we were finding that there was a lot of information to go through, and there wasn't really enough time to have, important dialogue that needs to happen. So as a result, they're devoting one of their Fridays per month to a Friday gathering, in which they'll devote the whole hour to a specific topic. And so the first one we had was on BITE, bringing youth to equality. And we sent a number of representatives up to Whitehorse for training. The youth did a certain training, and then the adults that went did adult ally training. It sounds like it was a great experience. Sam gave some reflections on a YouTube video, and that link is included in the email, but also it can be found on the same YouTube page that you're watching now, so check that out. Trip participants other than Sam included from Sequoia, Cheyenne Black, Candace Black, and Leland. And we also had from Lake, Dana Wiley, Trenton, and Hannah. So the first Friday gathering was really great. We've got some other ones already planned for topics, the first of which is next month, and it's called Experiential Learning from Within, and that'll be sort of facilitated, I believe, by Mike Flieger. And then there's also one planned for May, but I'm sure that if you want to hear about a specific item on a Friday gathering, Carrie and Bev would be more than happy to facilitate that, so get in touch with them. Additionally, Experiential Learning has posted an incentive challenge. What is that? It's a online, Incentive is an online network where people and organizations can submit challenges and anyone in the world can respond with their solutions. So we submitted a challenge. The link is included in this email, and I encourage our team to pass the link on to anybody who might be interested in submitting this. Anybody in the world can submit a solution, and we'd happily receive them. So at the end of this month, we'll have the bulk of, well, we'll be cutting off the time frame where you're allowed to submit solutions, and then we'll begin an evaluation process with the experiential learning team. So yeah, that's that. So next up is mentorship. In both the recent Sustainable Communities Working Group meetings and as well as the experiential learning meeting, the challenge of tracking training opportunities and skill building opportunities and trips that people go on was kind of brought up, because we got lots of people going out and about to different things, and that's great, but how do we bring it all home and talk about how we're going to apply those things was sort of the question that came up. So the mentorship team is working on finding a process for debriefing those opportunities and also for tracking the training and skill building and application of those opportunities. So we look forward to what they come up with. And as well, mentorship is submitting a proposal to the National Mentoring Symposium, which is a conference in Banff in November 2013. The symposium is put on by, I think, mainly Big Brothers Big Sisters of Canada, and I'm sure lots of government organizations, industry, non-governmental organizations will be there, so it sounds like a great opportunity. We really hope the proposal is well received. In janvier, so the Sequoia youth team members are attending a conference this week. They're there now, actually, in Ottawa. It's called the Youth Centres Canada Ignite and Unite Conference. Last week, Amy was in janvier to assist the youth team as they transition from having a community coordinator, and the Sequoia youth team is prepping lots of programming and activities for Easter weekend, including a family feast, egg hunts, egg painting, and pin the tail on the bunny. Sounds like a lot of fun to me. Finally, just a reminder, the Sequoia call is at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. Lake and Sequoia combined and coordinated and collaborated to go on a trip to Edmonton with a bunch of youth. I think there's probably about 30 youth, but I'm estimating. It happened last weekend, and apparently it was a great collaboration between them all. They went to an Oilers game. They went to the Science Center, college, museum, all sorts of things. We look forward to hearing more lessons learned about how that went for them. On to Fort Chip. Lake had a joint planning session follow-up in February on the 25th and 26th to track and check in on the progress of all the goals they set out for 2013 back in the joint planning session in October 2012. So we worked mainly in the evenings to discuss what the progress was on the goals. So we split them into what has been achieved, what is in progress, and what still needs to be started. And so it was great. Lots of action items came out of that, and we're going to have a second follow-up on March 25th and 26th. That's next Monday and Tuesday. We're excited to work together again, and we even have, I think, a couple industry members joining us, so it'll be great to keep broadening out our group and the involvement in that. Last week, Cheryl was in Fort Chip to meet with the Lake Personnel Committee and the Finance Committee. Sounds like that all went really well. Just a reminder that the Fort Chippewa call is at 9 a.m. on Tuesdays, and they recently started implementing a rotating chair and note-taking responsibilities in order to build the skills into everyone on the call. Myself, among other SCWG members, are working on planning note-taking seminars for anybody in our group, not just Fort Chip, anybody, to help build the skill in everybody. So if you're interested, you can let me know. Otherwise, I'm sure you'll be hearing about it in the coming month. Sustainable Communities working group in general. The last Sustainable Communities Working Group meeting was March 7th. Pat Flett chaired. Thank you very much, Pat. It was an excellent meeting. We had a lot of lots of different activities, very interactive. It was really exciting to have some new partners at the SCWG table, more community members than ever. We had some really great conversations around partnership. We celebrated the new Memorandum of Understanding signed by Yukon Education, Owsley, and Northland School Division. And the next SCWG meeting is going to be April 11th in Calgary, and Carrie and Beverly will be chairing from the ELI team. One of the things that I heard a lot of at the SCWG meeting was, why is this model not being implemented more widely? Why isn't this collaboration involve more companies? Why aren't more communities doing this? And definitely that's a question at the front of a lot of people's minds. But fear not, we have a group who is starting to work on how to articulate what this model is to a more broad audience, in hopes that people will hopefully start to implement this more widely. And it's really challenging for this group. We call ourselves Training and Communications, and it's really challenging for us to get feedback from a broad enough group of people. And so we've been trying to build that into regular meetings and other places, just sort of like sneak it and fuse it into what we're already doing. So for example, in the January SCWG meeting, we talked about the value of Owsley, the value of this model, and last meeting we discussed partnerships. So it's all like stepping stones towards building those specifications for how does this thing work. But in the coming months, we're going to be definitely engaging more directly with people, I think, and trying to have some working sessions where we can gather up more feedback and more input from the wider group, so that we have everybody's opinions on it. Finally, I have some sad news. The Owsley office is closing this week, next week, I guess. Mostly the people in the Owsley office are going to still be around, and a few of them will be working with us still. But their physical office is closing. Sad for us, but I do believe that Sequoia and Lake will be getting quite a lot of office supplies. Many thanks to their hard work, and we will really miss their presence on 4th Avenue in Calgary here. So I think that's all for this week. I have also included a tip of the week on 30, 60, 90-day planning. So if you'd like to watch that, it's a separate video. I hope you guys have a great week, and yeah, you'll be hearing from us again in about 2 weeks' time for the beginning of month update. Have a great day.